Right now is the crucial time to position before the next upcoming market move. Range of meme coins in Solana are actually correcting at this stage, and whilst most are scared, see this as a sign of weakness and are eager to take profits and leave this market, the 10%, the ones who are actually making money, are aggressively accumulating and aggressively positioning into meme coins on Solana. Today, we're going through the list of meme coins that I do think have a real chance to show way higher market caps in the upcoming leg up. I will show you the place, I will show you entry points, exit points, when you should be taking profits as well, and we will discuss the exact setups that the charts are presenting us with right as we speak. Make sure to press the like button, and without further ado, let's start. All-time high in May. To be honest, I would agree with that. And it's very interesting that memes are almost the only thing that is moving along with Bitcoin out there, right? It's like memes, they became these best meme coin betters. And if you were following this channel, you knew this information in February of 2024 by the market maker who got in jail after that just because he was sharing this information publicly. He was telling publicly to default retail people how the market really actually works, how VCs are dumping altcoins, and that's why he is where he is. Crazy world we are live in, right? So something like Grog we have at this stage. This is a meme coin created by Grog AI. I do believe that the reason this thing is pumping is because people decided that this is something very, very similar to Farcoin. In a way, it's even bigger than Farcoin, because Farcoin essentially was a meme coin that was created by AI in the first place, but it was created by a smaller AI. Grog AI is definitely bigger. It has a huge amount of users out there. Just think about this. How AIs can actually compete with each other based on information they're getting to process and provide some outputs, which Grog definitely have certain advantages out there because it's the only AI that has the access to the x.com, each and every post and everything that essentially is happening there, and through the amount of users, right? And if you have a social network, social presence out there, a bunch of users that are already using the platform, there is quite a high chance that they'll be using the AI that's connected to the platform as well, right? So it's pretty much about user acquisition and retention out there. Very, very default type of things for any type of SaaS business, right? But Grog definitely has these in connection to x.com. Very, very hard to say anything from the chart. We have like just a default first correction. I do believe the main thing you should be looking at is the amount of volumes, 142 million. And the main thing for us is also to check out the dynamic of volumes out there. What we can see currently is that volume on the sell part of the market essentially coming back down. At the same time, the meme coin at this stage lost a bunch of volume in connection to the time when it was going up like crazy, right? So hard to say anything about this thing. If it won't get picked up by some insane cabal, probably won't go very, very much from these levels as well. I would say just be very, very cautious about this one, and also take a look at liquidity and market cap. It's 1.1 million, $40 million market cap, man. Like, the market is just losing and losing and losing money out there. And interesting thing is that something actually seen a screenshot in terms of Housecoin on X today, which also was very, very interesting. There were only two things on the screenshot, was liquidity and the market cap. Essentially, it was stating that liquidity is very, very low in comparison to the market cap that this thing has. Ethereum meme coins in the midst of the 2023 bear market, they'll probably need to have $6 or $7 million in liquidity to even think about this market, probably even way higher, right? And actually, when the guy posted this screenshot with liquidity and market cap, he was pretty much banned by one of the main guys behind Housecoin, which is a very interesting thing. And the only reason how these type of memes can be this high with this low amount of liquidity is supply control. That's the point number one. Point number two is that if it has such a low amount of liquidity and it has supply control, it means that the whole supply is in the hands of the party that launched and was pushing this thing initially. It means that you're pretty much at the mercy of these guys. Like, any second they can just dump the whole fucking shit to zero, and you are purely specifically at the mercy of these people. At the same time, there's only $1.2 million in liquidity pool because the half of it is the Housecoin itself, and this shit is 100 million. It's pretty insane. Anyway, something I was showing is that we shall be correcting and we shall be like receiving the maximum second high. I was telling about this thing, maximum, before we will be going on the grand correction from that levels. And we see Ansem and people from like who are in Dubai at this stage, just tourists, right, actively trying to push this thing out there, trying to pump the price higher. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing a demand for a new $100 million Solana coin on the market. Yeah, just pretty insane to be buying this. MVG, something I was telling just yesterday actually told you that the best type of movement I actually expect from this thing is some type of quick bounce back to this resistance area, which is exactly something that happened. And guess what? There was zero fucking chance you're actually catching these to take profit here if you're not using limit orders. Limit orders is the main thing in trading any Solana meme coins out there. That's the most important thing out there. So I'm not seeing this thing as very, very bullish. It obviously broke the structure. It's a short-term trend. Yeah, I don't believe it's going to be recovering. Unfortunately, I believe it's going to die. Puis, very interesting thing in terms of Puis. So, narrative, it's kind of like as soon as GD Vance is the vice president of the US, probably going to be alright, right? And maybe like the guy can create some buzz around his figure, right? And that's why like this thing can pop as well, but don't get fooled. It's probably just about some cable. They just didn't decide to dump it to zero yet. Maybe they just wanted to farm some more, right? Because it's a very interesting thing. You buy a bit on the low volume, right here, you pump a bit into the chart, and on the low liquidity, yeah, it pumps like crazy. It's doing very, very well, right? So we are forming certain support around these areas, right? We're trading around these areas and around here as well. I would say we're in accumulation at this stage. I would say that everything in this bottom range that I outlined previously on the chart from 4 million to 5.5 million is actually a bid zone for this asset. If you think that this thing will survive, right? Might be the chance we're essentially going lower because I'm not seeing enough steam at this stage for this thing to be recovering from these levels. I would honestly want to see better accumulation. I would want to see this change of hands. I would want to see better accumulation on this asset to happen. Something that we essentially have seen right here. So something I would assume the healthiest thing that might happen on the chart, probably some deviation to get people out as much as they can, and then recovery from there. Retest, yeah, and we are going back higher. So at the same time, you see I was printing something like this right here, but the market was not that strong. This meme was not that strong as well. The chart was not that strong, and it required just some more reaccumulation at around these levels. Something we have next is Wizard. Wizard actually is quite interesting. I believe the chart of Wizard repeats the chart of Housecoin pretty interestingly. The only issue that from one point of view, the narrative of this thing is quite weak. People try to push some older Wizard, not even like a meme coin. Yeah, some interesting thing out there. But at the same time, the chart is very, very interesting. If you will pop up the chart of Housecoin before the pump, and if you would actually compare it, right, it looks very, very similar. It was just endless accumulation around the same area, and people were just capitulating based on time, right? So just look at this shit, right? It's very similar. The same thing has actually happened with Wizard. Now the main question is, will Wizard pump to $100 million in market cap? Pretty hard to say, right? If I would be able to say that, I would probably not be doing this channel in the first place, right? So interesting thing here is that, yeah, your bid zone is definitely from 2.4 million to 3.3 million, and we already see that the chart briefly went to these levels. It almost went to the bottoms of this range, right? And it got bounced back above the range right there. So anyway, each and every time we're in the blue zone, I think you should be accumulating, and I do think it does not look that bad. It definitely looks like it wants to expand. It wants something else to happen on this chart, and accumulation around these levels, yeah, I do honestly like what I see here in terms of Wizard, and I do like the current point as an entry point. Not an ideal one, right? But you had the limit orders. You could have bought at 2.7, 2.6. I told you about that beforehand. All you had to do is just set up some limit orders. Some older stuff, Popcat, we see it actually bounce back from the support, which previously was resistance out there. Very interesting situation with this one, right? So it's printing a classic cup and handle on this chart as well. Naturally, what you would expect from this chart is to continue the expansion into the top range of this trading range for this meme coin there, to essentially the core resistance that we have at these levels in comparison to all the previous trading that was done with this thing before as well, right? I would say that we spent enough time here, we retested, we printed our cup and handle. Right now is the time of expansion. This is something that I'm seeing around this asset. If I go on below, I'm not seeing that. I honestly think that the market should be bullish. I do think that people are not positioned, people are looking for shorts. Nah, I do think, and like, think about the current situation in the world as well. Like, everyone is scared, still tariffs. Like, think about what will happen when certainty will be added into the market. Think what will happen when rates will go down. Think about these things. It's insane. It's insane what will happen, right? All that grandma I would like to check out as well is Selfie, right? So we had this beautiful line. I don't know what the fuck this is actually in the first place, right? So most of the older memes, they're essentially going through similar type of setups out there. And you can see that the volume on this thing is $89,000 with a $2.4 million in market cap. Yet, it did not actually hurt it to do a 4.6x in the last pretty much 3 weeks, right? From the exact bottoms of 750k. I would also say that we are at the obvious resistance area. We broke through it, then we retested, and we're kind of like accumulating around the top of the range at this stage. I won't say that we clearly broke through currently at this stage, and yeah, probably this type of price action was a fake out. So, but it definitely tells a lot about this market when people want to take profits after a 4x, and all you have to understand is that very few people actually got like a pure 4x because you had to buy at the exact bottom to get a 4x. So most probably are up, like I would say on average like 2x since these exact bottoms, and still they're selling that. But the best memes to make money are memes on Ethereum. You just buy them and you just hold, and that's it, right? Second best are all the memes on Solana that has chance to come back. Arguably, all the memes on Sol that have a chance to come back, they can even be more fruitful as memes on Ethereum. I do believe that memes on Ethereum, they're just more stable in that manner. And Selfie is definitely one of them. Selfie is kind of like this baby project of DGN. FOMO has some connection to this one as well. And these guys, they actively trade. Maybe in some time they will return into this. I would say more from the DGN point of view because it definitely is more hurt. And you fucking tell me something about my Indian on Blast. Like DGN always had like fucking 60k followers. He had millions of dollars. His thing also went to all-time high of 62 million. And it dumped like exactly the same. And you fucking tell me something about my Indian Blast? Insane, guys. My videos about Indian Blast at the top in the summer, they were getting 3.5k views. And we pumped this shit to $60 million because of the thesis. Because it was not just pure hype, it was logic. It was pure investment school. Without fucking supply control, manipulators, influencers, without all this shit. No one fucking get the percentages. You just had to buy from the market. Good times, man, good times. So yeah, in terms of this one, I don't know, hard to say. I can give you your default like resistance areas. The first one would probably be somewhere around these levels. So from 6.2 to 7.5, this is your target. And if you would consider to enter, I would say enter currently. Like don't fucking wait for it to go lower. That's 2.5x to the bottom of this range. Here you would be able to take initials. Again, just set up a limit sell orders, right? Because often what will be happening is that it will be just touching it with the small wick and then rejecting and being somewhere here, and then like you already don't have a 2.5x, you have like fucking 1.7. You keep holding and this thing just goes to zero, right? But entry point right now in terms of Selfie, I do actually like. I do believe it's a very nice entry point. Similar coin to Selfie is actually Vibe, also like OG meme, Titcoin, and with the expansion of Popcat, yeah, like this thing should go nuts. A very similar chart, also a very nice level to entry currently. You probably have a very clear validation for this trade as well, like 10-15% down, and you just act on your limit sell right away. Your initial targets somewhere to 2.26, yeah, I would say somewhere between like in this range, 2.26 2.8, which shall be around 2x. Take your initials out and then you hold your percentages of the supply on this thing, and you just play with free money out there. Let's quickly go through Titcoin as well. We see some green on this chart, and it kind of tries to accumulate following this trend line, following this like newly formed trend line out there. You have to understand that, yeah, it's also a heavily manipulated coin. And if you actually see something I was outlining here on this chart is that we shall be retouching this chart one more time, and it kind of retouched it it kind of retouched this area already. So that's a very, very interesting sign. May it just start to recover from here? Narrative of Titcoin is definitely not that strong as the narrative of Housecoin from my point of view, right? Housecoin is just for intelligent people, so like they won't feel stupid on buying like Titcoin and shit, right? But Titcoin is a nice better play to Bitcoin out there 100%. So yeah, still hard to say, like I'm not seeing a lot of accumulation happen in this chart, but if you would ask me whether or not it's a nice entry point, I would say yeah, I would say it's a nice entry point. Next nice entry point is 16.9. Which is pretty much just 17 million. Next nice entry point is 15 million out there. Next nice entry point is $11 million, and next nice entry point is fucking zero because you just lost all your money and life savings, right? Hard jokes to tell, guys. Hard jokes to tell. Yeah, it's probably pretty much it in terms of all the memes that I wanted to check on the marketplace. Maybe the last thing, we'll check out Troll and Lemon. Troll, exactly as mentioned, fucking touch this level. Beautiful thing out there. Ideally, you would want to have your limit buy at 25 million, right? I do believe it might be touching that. I do believe that something we're seeing currently is just a support, and we still shall be rejecting from this level and going lower, right? 25 million is also a coincide, so with 0.236 fib level. So I definitely like this entry point right there. And yeah, most likely the supply for this thing is also controlled and manipulated as fuck. 40% correction, yeah, it's nice. 40% correction for this type of meme. So just wait, from my point of view, just wait for your buy order at $40 million. Lemon was something that some influencers were shilling, talking about, like, guys, just take a look at what I fucking told you yesterday. Where it was yesterday. Yesterday it was like at fucking 10 million. What I told you, I said, this is a short-term narrative, I'm not seeing this thing surviving, and this is the chart I actually printed to you. I told you, high number 1, high number 2, high number 3, if you can, short this shit. If you are in, get out, right? Pull out. You had to do it in time, right? Some of you probably did not. Yeah, sometimes you lose when you're not pulling out in time, right? So this is pretty much it. Thank you very much for viewing this professional overview of meme coin situation on this marketplace. Hope it provided you with some value. If it did, please consider pressing the like button. And I shall be seeing you tomorrow. Stay healthy and rich.